Okay, so you're an artist and you're having some trouble with marketing. Well, my name is Melchor Moore. I'm an artist and I have a special guest for you today, David Emmons of the Artist Marketing Formula. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's talk to him now.
Hello there.
Hi, David Emmons. How are you?
Melchor, excellent. How are you?
Good. How are you this morning?
Good.
So the name of you've got a couple of websites. You've got a David Emmons website.
Yes, my coaching business is called Artist Marketing Formula. And so artistmarketingformula.com will actually get you to my course and coaching page. And then I teach a free masterclass every week. And to register for that, it's Artist Marketing Blueprint. So artistmarketingblueprint.com is a registration page for my free masterclass. And then the davidemmons.com is actually where the course lives. So once you're an enrolled student, you're actually accessing the course. It's online curriculum. It's all video. It's step-by-step. I do monthly coaching calls with my students, and those are all live video. It's a lot of fun. I've got a coaching call coming up Monday night. What I do on the coaching calls is I teach a start-to-finish strategy that is designed to move the needle in your business immediately. Right? So it's always something like, go and do this, and things are going to happen. Usually it's driven towards sales, but sometimes it's driven towards just fan growth. This Monday, I'm going to talk about growing your fan base, the 3 things that I do all the time to rapidly grow my fan base.
You make these hanging water gardens. How'd you learn how to do that?
Well, I've always loved, working with metal, working with, eventually I worked into stained glass as well. So I've always been drawn to sculpting things and working with different forms of metal, but I kind of fell in love with copper, the look of copper, and I've always loved plants. So it was kind of a natural to weave the two together. And then I love the colored glass. So stained glass, colored glass.
I looked at your hanging waterfalls and I saw those and I was like, oh yeah, I can see ordering one of these. But the other day I was looking at like a pair of pants, and I found this pair of pants that were very cool online, and I was a little hesitant to enter my credit card information into the computer.
Right. Well, kind of brings me back to what I thought about the internet years ago when the internet first came around. One of my first thoughts about the internet is, number one, no one is going to get up in the morning and search for what I create. Who gets out of bed and searches for what artists create? And so for the longest time, I stayed away from the internet. My next hurdle for the internet was, who's going to feel comfortable shopping online, putting that credit card information out there? And what's happened over the years is that hurdle has really been overcome by basically all the different platforms, all the different things that you can buy online, all the different e-commerce that takes place. But more to your point, what I teach my students, how to develop relationships, how to build a fan base, how to cultivate the fan-artist relationship. That's really a key component to succeeding online, this relationship building, for all types of reasons, including people being willing to put credit card information into a website. The other things that are helpful that are just mechanical are some of the seals of authenticity that you can have in the footer of your website or near the area where people enter payment information. Another thing that's helpful on a website is to always have PayPal as an option, because a lot of people feel very comfortable with PayPal. I would say about 40% of my transactions go through PayPal. The other thing is, using customer testimonials on your website. So you have, other voices other than your own. And that's really powerful. I always have customer testimonials, and not, testimonials about, hey, I made a purchase and it actually showed up to my home. Testimonials about you and your work. And it creates the right atmosphere that makes people feel comfortable, that you're legitimate, you're an artist, you've been around for a while, people are purchasing your work, those types of things. Customer testimonials are such a wonderful thing. I always teach my students when it comes to selling their art, a lot of times artists are confused as to what to say about their work. If you're actually going to do, let's say, a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad, go to your customer comments, go to your customer reviews, read the emails and the letters you've been sent over the years, and read what your customers say about you, because those are the words that you want to use. That's how people are connecting with you, and they're sharing those feelings with you. And those feelings and those emotions, other human beings can tap into. They sense that, they connect with that, and then they want to know, hey, what's this guy guy all about? What's his work all about? He's obviously having an impact in other people's lives. I think a lot of time artists, they'll talk about why they love to create what they create, which is a component to having online success. Your fans do need to hear your story, but they need to be able to connect. And the way you help them connect is by using the words from previous customers. And when you marry those two things together, that's a really powerful combination. And it really is because I love what I'm doing. And even when I was still on the show circuit, and my whole desire was to reduce the number of shows I was doing so that I didn't have to do the lousy shows, keep the ones that are amazing and get rid of the other ones, and build a business online and see if I could make it sustainable. And so as I did that, the interesting thing that happened on the show circuit is a lot of the other artists who knew me, they'd see me at a show and they say, hey, I'm not seeing you at all the shows anymore. What are you doing? Are you okay? Are you healthy? What's going on here? And I would answer, well, my website's doing fantastic, and so I'm dropping shows. And then the next logical question was, how are you doing that? What are you doing? And I would talk to people for hours. We would have a cup of coffee, we'd talk at the booth, and I would tell them the different things I'm doing because I get really animated about how amazing the tools on the internet are now when you start learning how to use them. But what I found is that you can't explain it all in an hour over a cup of coffee. And so, that's why I developed the course and coaching program. For me to be involved with helping them reach more people, it's just really cool. I love doing that.
Are most of your students already established? They know what they're doing with the exhibition scene and they're already kind of working at being an artist, and now they're going online?
Well, it's kind of all over the place. So I do have those students for sure. I have a lot of students who are over the age of 65. And so they've been doing this all their lives. They've been they've either been on the show circuit or a combination of the shows and the galleries. For most artists, it's been very, very clear that I've got to do something with the internet. I can't ignore the internet, but it's a big animal. It's a huge thing. If you think about, okay, I got to go on the internet and learn how to market. That's just a huge topic. And so a lot of artists have stayed away, especially the older artists, because they're afraid that tech is going to be overwhelming. Where do I start? Which direction do I go? Am I even going to be able to do this? But then I have artists. I was on the phone on a Zoom call yesterday with an artist from New Zealand, and she's just starting. So she doesn't have a website, does a little bit on Instagram, has done a couple of local markets. So she's had her work out there just a few times. So she's brand new. I have a fair amount of artists that are just like that. So being able to hook up with somebody who can point an artist in a very clear direction is what she was excited about. And that's what most of my students are excited about, is the fact that somebody's going to take the mystery out of this. Wow. You mean there is a clear path? And if you take it and you do the right things, you absolutely can have online success with your art. I mean, the bottom line is what we're always doing as artists is we're trying to find the people who will fall in love with what we create. And if you've had any amount of time doing what you're doing, those people are out there. It's always a matter of trying to find them. And so we go to events, we go to galleries, we do whatever we're doing. Every single time we're doing that, we're trying to get in front of the right people. Well, on the internet, there are amazing tools available now for you to get in front of those people, and those people are out there. So it's a matter of putting the right thing in front of the right people. And when you start getting that right, that's when success happens. The targeting tools are amazing. I mean, I use a combination of things. A lot of people who start to try and figure out how to market online or start to try and figure out how to use Instagram or Facebook to get in front of the right people, they will use the surface level power of the platform. And underneath the surface are amazing targeting tools. And there's some that are kind of mechanical, where you're doing interest targeting, you're layering targeting, and you're looking for people like art. In my case, I'm looking for artists like yourself. For my hanging water garden business, I'm looking for people who love plants and they love art and they're interested in interior design. So there's a layering that takes place. And with that, you'll get some results. But what happens when you start understanding these platforms is you realize there's AI running everything. And there's algorithms that are looking for specific things, and they will do things based on what they see and what they read. And so when you start understanding how the AI works, now you can tap into that power and really get in front of your exact customers. And when you combine those two, over time, it gets really, really really powerful, because over time, what happens on a Facebook page as an artist, as you grow your fan base and you do the right things, you bring the right people into your world. And there is such a thing as bringing the wrong people into your world and things go bad. But when you bring the right people into your world, you're feeding the algorithm and the AI all this data, right? So all those people that come into your world, they bring data with them. That helps the AI find more people like them to bring them into your world. They run ads for you in other countries, very low-cost countries around the world, and they'll explode your fan base. It's a violation of Facebook's rules, but some people still do it. The real problem with it is you are getting all kinds of people on your fan page, just numbers. They don't even know what you do. They're not fans of your work, but the AI is looking at the data. That's all it can look at. So it looks for more people like those people. So now you're growing a fan base of people who aren't going to be customers. It's important for artists to be attracting people that are not only interested in what you create, but are going to be customers. It was kind of like at a show. Let's say you did 5 really top-notch art festivals. And at those art festivals, there's thousands of people at every show. But there are a certain amount of people who are going to purchase from you, and there are a certain amount of people that stop at your booth and have a conversation with you. If you could take and go to one show and only have the attendance of that show be everyone from the 5 other shows who stopped and talked or purchased from you, that's what proper online marketing looks like. When you realize what the AI is doing for you, when you realize how the algorithms work, when you start to see your fan base grow and then on purpose spread the word about you, and you can see that in numbers, in data, and you can also see it in comments and the types of relationships that are building. And all of this I teach in my course. My course is all about understanding how all these dynamics work together. And when you weave these things together into strategies, that's how an artist wins. Understanding how 5 or 6 things weave together that make it win and make it sustainable for an artist. But the other thing is, when someone is searching for something, they're in a comparison mindset. And so if I'm searching for whatever it is, as soon as the results show up, I'm comparing price, I'm comparing quality, I'm comparing style. And, that gets me looking at you, looking at your competition, looking at other things. And so if you're marketing to search results, it's just, you're in the wrong space. What you want to do is you want to market to your people who are out there, but you want to get in front of them when they're not even thinking about you. You want to just show up in the world, just like you do at an art show. Most art events, other than the fact that people do come to those festivals to see art, they didn't necessarily know you were going to be there. And so as they walk by your booth, that's their first, opportunity to see what you do and see what you create. Same thing online. You can show up in someone's world the right way and have them say, wow, and have them come into your world. And when they do that, if you think about this, if I'm searching for something, I get search results, I start click, click, click. I'm looking at all these different websites. Now, compare that to you showing up in my news feed. And you show up with a really cool video, something you just painted, and I say, wow, that's really cool. When I click the button, I go to your website. So now I've just come into your world. Now, when I land on your website, I'm going to start experiencing something about you. I'm going to see some of your story. I'm going to see other paintings that you do. I'm going to see maybe past gallery exhibits. I'm going to see all these different things, but they're all in your world. I'm not comparing you to anyone else. And that's one of the reasons I don't like some of the other platforms on the internet where you find a bunch of artists. Even the Etsy platform that a lot of jewelers and arts and crafts people use. The problem with those platforms is a lot of them are search dependent. So I search for something, so then I land there. Well, when I land there, I can go lots of different directions. I don't have to stay in your world. And the bottom line is there are millions of people in the world who will love what you create. And so marketing the search results is just a waste of your time, because you could spend that same time and market to all those people that are out there that aren't thinking about you yet. So that's the way I love to market.
There's a lot to learn, and it's hard to, how did you start getting, did you just learn by clicking on everything? You know an awful lot.
Well, what I did is I took a lot of courses, and I started going to seminars and conventions about social media marketing. And when I did that, I realized, holy cow, this is what I've always been looking for. The power of the internet is your ability to find your people. All right. So there's all these niches out there. How do you find them is always the question. At these conventions, I started learning about the tools. These are the tools that allow you to find your people. And so that's when I started focusing on social media, specifically Facebook. And then I just started learning about the tools. I'd listen to podcasts, I'd enroll in courses, and I'd learn how to do it. It can be complicated because there's so much on the platform you can use and there's so much on the internet you can use. But you really need to force yourself to rein yourself in and stay focused on the things that make the difference. Because when you do that, it's really not complicated. You've got the AI working for you. You've got the algorithms working for you. The rest of it's human psychology. Fan-artist relationship, why people connect with other people. Why do they like you? Why do they like your work? Why are they willing to share you with other people? When you start understanding that and then strategically weave that into your marketing, it's about doing a few things, being strategic, and then staying focused. And that's really what has online success. Those are the ingredients for online success.
So we can go to artistmarketingformula.com.
That'll bring you to the course page. And then if you want to get involved in a free masterclass where I go deeper on these things, it's artistmarketingblueprint.com.
All right. Well, sounds good. I hope the people that want to sign up for your course see this video. It's been very nice to meet you, especially since I see you so frequently.
I love it. I'm shocked with I've been on your website. I've seen your work, and I'm shocked that you've only been selling your work, I guess, at festivals for the last couple of years.
I would say 2014 is when I started painting.
Wow.
And then it took me about a year to finish 2 paintings, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I went to a gallery and kind of looked around and decided I needed 13 paintings. So I spent the year, created 13 paintings, and then carried them all into this gallery.
Well,
I think the guy, he was just nice enough to kind of look at the stuff, and he let me put a painting up under really nice lighting and take a picture of it.
Oh, cool.
And I was so excited that on Facebook, somebody bought a couple of paintings, and then people started buying paintings.
Right.
And then I hung up at a pizza parlor and hung up in an office space, and I kind of found out about art walks and exhibitions. Now what I do is I host the exhibitions, and I started acting a little bit more like a broker, a dealer.
Oh, good.
So I ultimately, my goal is to be the gallerist.
Oh, cool.
That's cool. With my artwork and other people's.
Other people's. Yeah, I actually have a fair amount of students who are in that category, probably 7 students like that from around the world.
Okay. And then on Monday, you're going to be hosting a, how did you put it? On Monday, you're going to be hosting a Gather Your Fan Base.
Yes, Growing Your Fan Base is the title of this coaching call. And it's all about, just paying attention to what are the things that'll move the needle on fan growth. And also paying attention to, like we said earlier, bringing the right people into your world, so that you're growing that fan base with people who are ultimately going to purchase from you. I mean, that's really the goal. And if you do it right, I mean, it's all the tools are there to help you grow it the right way. It's just a matter of tapping into them.
I like what you said about bringing the wrong people. I did an interview with a journalist from CNN in Switzerland, and all of a sudden all these people that don't like news networks were commenting on my video, and they weren't even watching it. I was just getting these comments, and
oh my gosh.
Because of the algorithm, really, I was like, what happened is that the word CNN triggered people.
Right. Wow. Yeah. And that's the thing is to be aware of that there's always these algorithms running and the AI is in the background. And so when you're aware of that, you can use it to your advantage. You interview a famous artist, you interview an artist who does work similar to yours, and then all of a sudden you're bringing the right people into the world. In fact, a lot of times when I teach people about targeting, what we're targeting are other artists who paint similar to you. So one of my artists paints in the style of Jackson Pollock. Obviously we're targeting fans of Jackson Pollock. And when you do that, the AI, it knows how to find those people. It's remarkable.
It's fun. It's a puzzle game.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. And but when you start getting it right, it's amazing. I was looking at my ad account yesterday, and I'm getting some of my lowest customer acquisition costs that I've ever had in 5 years of advertising. And it's just so the numbers are getting better, and part of that is my targeting is getting better. My understanding of what to do is getting better, but also the data, just the sheer amount of data that's come through my account is massive now. And so, the algorithm knows how to find my people. And so the longer you do this, the more you do this, the easier it gets. It's something that you get into and you're in for life, and it just keeps growing and expanding. I do monthly coaching. I do one-on-one coaching if any students need it. So I'm there to help you succeed. I wanted something that I knew people didn't have to, hurry up and do, take your time going through the course. And I wanted something that would grow with whatever changes happen on the platform and whatever changes happen in my understanding of online marketing. As soon as I get something new that works, it's in the course, and I teach a coaching call on it, and I show people, hey, this is amazing. And so that's the kind of course I wanted. I wanted people to be able to get in it, stay connected, and just grow. I also have a private community for all my students. So I've got over 2,000 students from all around the world, and they're in this private community working with one another. I'm in there every day answering questions, but they're executing strategies and then sharing their successes. So you get to see in real time what other artists are doing, and they're sharing resources, and just all kinds of great community stuff is going on in there. And that's part of the course. You get access to that for life.
I guess you sold me. Like, now I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe I should take this course.
You would love it. Yeah, absolutely would love it.
Excellent. Well, thanks for taking the time to meet with me this morning, and hopefully we see each other again down the line.
Excellent. Yeah, I loved it. I love your YouTube channel, so I'm going to be diving into some of the other interviews you've done. So I appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you very much, David.
Okay, see you, man. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to follow Melchor Moore on YouTube.